Wanted to talk about, and I've talked about this before, but I'm going to repeat it just in case you weren't here when I spoke about it. But nitric oxide is a really cool molecular gas that's in our bodies that is very helpful for our breathing. So it is produced I mean, it's produced in all your organs, but it's also produced in your sinuses, and it's a bronchodilator and a vasodilator. So if you're not sure what those terms mean, like in your organs, it's produced in the blood vessels, and it helps to relax the smooth muscles of your blood vessels so that a lot of blood flow can get to your organs. So it dilates your blood vessels, a vasodilator. And then it does the same for your trachea and for your bronchioles. It dilates the smooth muscles that are involved in that, and helps you have more lung capacity. It helps you open up your lungs. So it's a bronchodilator as well. And it's when we breathe in through our nose, the air we breathe in is bathed in nitric oxide, which is present in our sinuses. So if we breathe through our mouth, we skip this whole beautiful step of accessing nitric oxide to swirl around with our oxygen and come down into our lungs to help us dilate our bronchioles. So, besides being a dilator, which is so helpful for blood flow and oxygen exchange in our lungs, it's also there's components to nitric oxide that are antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal. So there's been studies in 2004. There was a study that was done in the original SARS, COVID virus, not the current one, but the other one that happened beforehand, and it showed that it killed it stopped the replication and was able to kill some of the SARS virus. So there's some current studies. This is what I wrote down. There's a study being done right now by Know Bio, KNOW Bio, in North Carolina, and they're doing some studies with COVID. There's a trial going on where they're putting they're doing cells of COVID and putting trays of it with nitric oxide or not. And the nitric oxide is proving to kill the COVID virus. So this is, it's not a huge study. I haven't done a whole lot of research on the study itself. I just read an article about the study. And so it's unknown yet whether it's going to prove to be helpful with COVID, but it's so simple for us to increase our capacity to work with nitric oxide in our body. We don't have to take a drug. We don't have to go buy something. We just have this capacity. So even if it doesn't prove to be super effective against COVID, it has been proven to be effective against all sorts of viruses and bacteria and fungus. So a couple more things I want to tell you about it. So nitric oxide was discovered by Louis Ignarro in the 1990s. He won the Nobel Prize for Physiology for his discovery of nitric oxide and how it improves health and longevity. So one of the cool things, in 1999, the FDA approved inhaling nitric oxide for newborn babies with persistent pulmonary hypertension to help them dilate their blood vessels. And this, as of date, we save about 25,000 babies a year by using nitric oxide inhalation for newborn babies. So it's a really beautiful molecular gas that we produce, and it can have a lot of really far-reaching effects on our health. Think of the way you vasodilate can be very protective against stroke and heart attacks and hypertension. So it's not just about can we help ourselves with COVID, but it's just a beautiful gas that we have in our body that really protects our health in a lot of different ways. So if we breathe through our mouth, which so many of us do, we skip this beautiful step of being able to have our oxygen bathed in the air we're breathing in being bathed in nitric oxide, and give this protective, antimicrobial, and dilating effect. So that's simple enough, right? Just breathe in through your nose. Breathe in through your nose. It's harder than it seems. I don't know if you've ever experimented with this. I have, where I have taped off my mouth and done yoga practices, making sure that I'm only capable of breathing through my nose. Don't do this on a congested day. That would not be a good thing. We have the capacity to breathe through our mouth as an emergency stopgate if we are stuffed up, right? But this is not where we're supposed to be breathing. We're supposed to be breathing through our nose. Exhales are not as important to worry about as far as whether mouth or nose. What you want to focus on the exhale is making sure your breath is very slow. So one of the things that can help with this exchange that does involve the exhale is humming. So inhaling through your nose and exhaling through a hum will slow down the breath and not only give you good gaseous exchange in the sinuses, but it will, which bathes, when you hum, you have a lot of activity in your sinuses. And so it just stimulates the capacity for nitric oxide to have interface with your breathing. And the other thing that happens when you hum that's so beautiful is, number one, your exhales go longer, which is very helpful, and it increases your parasympathetic nervous system response, which is the relaxation response. So humming out can be a very beautiful way of helping keep us healthy. And then the last thing I wanted to say about nitric oxide, there's a new study with COVID that 470, so it's small, 470 healthcare workers who are taking care of COVID patients are inhaling nitric oxide before and after their shift to see if it has any impact on their susceptibility to contracting COVID. And the results are not out yet, but I think that's pretty cool that someone's studying nitric oxide effect. And there's another study going on in Massachusetts about with ventilated patients with COVID, giving nitric oxide to them as well. And so the results of those studies are not out yet, but they're in process. So, I think in time we'll really start to see if nitric oxide has any impact on COVID. So in the meantime, let's do some humming, let's do some nasal breathing, and let's do some yoga. Okay, so let's go ahead and sit up straight and tall. The other good thing is you're closing your eyes. That happens when we breathe through our nose is it puts better pressure on our diaphragm, which can help us with our carbon dioxide exchange. I'm not going to go into that now. But hyperventilation is often something we think of as like, but really hyperventilation is just shallow mouth breathing that causes a lazy diaphragm. And so when we focus on nice long inhales and nice long exhales, breathing in through the nose and maybe humming out through the mouth or nose, we have this capacity to lengthen our breath, which can help with this lazy diaphragm effect. Okay, so I'll stop talking now so we can actually do some yoga. Thank you for bearing with me for a little bit of nitric oxide education. All right, so sit up straight and tall and take a moment to enjoy this moment. So drop down, notice if there's tension in you, if there's so much stress around between the election and COVID and all the other myriad things that are going on in your lives. There is a lot that we are all shouldering. So see if you can slough off a little bit of that tension from your shoulders. And let's gently close our mouth. Gently, gently let your teeth touch. Let your tongue be soft. And let's start to breathe in and out if you can through the nose. Just gently keep your mouth closed if you can. You don't have to duct tape yourself, but just be conscious about breathing through your nose. And as you are inhaling, imagine all the caverns of your sinuses and the swirling breeze of your breath, the wind moving through your sinuses and all this bathing in nitric oxide, along with all sorts of warming that happens to the breath, the mucus that attaches to the breath, which is a good thing to help us trap any dirt or pollens or anything that's in the air we're breathing. Let's have a deep appreciation for our sinuses. Let your exhale start to come out slowly and steadily. As you are appreciating this bath of nitric oxide and this beautiful nature of our sinuses, see if you can also sense and travel down into the trachea and into the bronchioles and feel the soft, smooth muscles relax, open up. Let the exhales come out slow and steady. Relax your shoulders, relax your body. Soften any muscles through your skull, any tension that's creeping in through the upper traps or anywhere. And now we're going to add just a little bit of humming to our exhale. And everybody's vibrational tone is different. So if you want to try it without closing your ears, you can. If you want to try bee buzzing breath, bee humming breath, you can also put your fingers on your little ear flaps and close your little ear flaps over your ears. You won't be able to hear me very well if you do that. So breathe out through a hum with ears closed or ears open. Try different tones. Go high, go low, go middle. As you're exhaling, I'm going to not make the sound so I don't disturb your sound. Notice how humming slows down your exhales. And if you are having a day where your brain is just full and you can't seem to shut things down very well, see what it feels like to close your ear flaps on the next breath. So those are just, that little front part of your, just stick your fingers over there and gently close off your ears and try the bee buzzing breath out, bee humming, Brahmani, I think it's called, breath. So also notice, if you can hear me, how humming impacts your diaphragm. Do you feel that there's just a little bit of strengthening going on as you exhale when you hum? When you take your next breath in, can you feel that contraction of the diaphragm let go? Let the bellows open. See what it feels like to take a good, long, smooth inhale, swirling through your sinuses. All right, and then let's relax and place your hands together at your heart. And just take a moment to offer an intention for your health and well-being. Can you give yourself the wish, the blessing of strength and immunity? Oh, I'm so sorry. Obviously, I did not have my phone turned off, so let me put myself on Do Not Disturb. Take a moment to come into a state of giving yourself that beautiful wish of health and well-being. All right, and then release the hands and come resting your hands down. Can you all see me? Ruth, give me a thumbs up if you can, because I can see a little tiny box. Let me see if I can fix this. Go ahead and come to lie down on your back while I fix my screen. Okay. Anytime I accidentally forget to mute my phone, it messes with my screen. So as long as you guys can see me, that's all that matters. All right, so let's come to lie down on your back. Feel a sense of ease. Rest in your breath here. So as much as you can, see what it feels like to stay in the rhythm of your breathing. Relax your legs, soften your knees, soften your shoulders. And let's take a nice breath in through our nose here. So notice if you have already kind of forgotten that it's breathing in through your nose practice. So as much as you can, see if you can stay with nasal breathing. Give yourself the gift of this nitric oxide, whether it protects you from COVID or not, it's protecting you from a lot of things. It's deeply helpful to our health and longevity to breathe through our nose. So let's enjoy. Get used to that. Train yourself to breathe through your nose. All right, so stretch your body, arms overhead, stretch the right side, stretch the left side. And if ever you start to get panicky or short of breath, you can always take a few breaths through your mouth. It's not the end of the world to breathe through your mouth, but just see how much you can gain in your awareness and your capacity to stay a nasal breather as much as possible. So find the extension, reaching through your arms, reaching through your legs, and then bring your knees into your chest and rock around a little bit, just swaying from side to side. Being that this is a gentle yoga class, let's just be very gentle with ourselves. There's nothing vigorous and strenuous that we have to do to have a healthy, good yoga practice. Yoga isn't just about muscle strength and getting the workout in. It's really getting in, not necessarily working out, but working in. All right, extend the limbs, stretch out through your body, all the way to your fingertips, and then exhale, knees into your chest, chin up. Give yourself a little hug. One more time, open your body. Exhale, close your body up. Release your head down, put your feet on the floor, and let's windshield wiper our knees left and right, going from side to side. Opening up the ribs, feeling the space between the ribs and the hips, get some space. See what it feels like to hum. Anytime you want to add a hum, add a hum. And if you're cooking, chopping up carrots, stirring some soup on the stove, add a little song, sing a little or hum a little tune in the shower, hum a little tune while you're cooking, hum a little tune while you're cleaning, hum a little tune while you're working. Whatever you got going on, if we're exhaling and humming, this is good for us. All right, draw the knees into the chest one more time, draw it in, and then release that leg down. Right knee into the chest, left leg is long on the floor. Roll around through your ankles, moving through your toes, wiggling things as much as you want, and then switch. Left knee into the chest. Let's move around those ankles and toes again. Finding some breath. All right, and then two knees into the chest. Let's roll over onto our side and come up onto your hands and knees. So here's a good place to start finding that breath rhythm again. Inhaling to arch your back, breathing through the nose. Exhale, hum. What might it feel like to hum your way back to child's pose? Dropping your head, dropping your hips. Let's do that a few times. Inhaling through your nose, tailbone up, head up. Exhaling. What tone does your hum want to take? Are you a high tone, middle tone, low tone? What gives you the capacity to use the muscle of your diaphragm well to slow down the exhale? One more time, finding your pace. So I'm talking, so my pace is obviously going to be very different because I'm not doing the same breathing that you're doing. So make sure you're finding what is right for you. Stay in child's pose. Walk the hands over to the left side of your mat. Stretch open the right rib cage. Drop some weight down into the pelvis and relax your head. Soften the base of the skull. And then walk your hands over to the other side, inching to the right, head dropping down, soften through your skull, breathe into the left ribs, full breath in, full breath out, breathing through the nose as much as you can, humming exhales anytime you want. So if you don't like it, then you don't have to do it. But if you enjoy it, just have a little hum anytime you feel like it. Come back up onto all fours, take an inhale through your nose, right arm reaching up to the sky, exhale and slide that shoulder down.
Relax your head, feeling the sense of space through the shoulder blades, feeling the deep twist in this posture. Relax your neck. Can you trail the breath as you breathe through your nose? Does it feel like you have access to one side of your sinuses more than another? And then inhale, reaching that arm all the way back up to the sky. Place the hand down onto the ground, second side. Lifting that arm up, sliding that arm down. Open up through the back side of the shoulders. Relaxing your neck. Stay breathing through your nose as much as possible. And then inhale, reach that arm all the way back to the sky. Place the hand down onto the ground. And let's find our way to dog pose. So spread out through the bones in your feet and in your hands. Feel free to pedal some things around, move around, find what's working for your body. Relax your head. Take some deep breaths in, take some deep breaths out. Or do you want to hum on the exhale every once in a while or consistently? But try your very best to be as consistent as possible, breathing in through your nose. Notice the impact on your diaphragm. And sometimes it doesn't have to necessarily be a hum, it can be a sigh. But see if you can sigh, try it through your nose. Keep your lips closed and see what sound comes out when you sigh through your nose on the exhales. You are all by yourself, so there's nothing to be embarrassed about by the sounds you're making in your breath. So experiment with your breathing. Walk your feet forward. Come into Uttanasana, fold, relax your head, bobble it around a little bit. So much of the accessory muscles that we try to use in our breath land up in our traps and neck, so let's let them go. Inhale for a halfway lift. Stay breathing through the nose. When you exhale, go ahead and release back down. Rise up. One of the things that often happens, reach your arms to the sky if you want, cactus open if you want. One of the things that often happens, it's like when we pump gas at the gas station in our car. We fill it to the top and then we fill it a little bit more. I mean, hopefully you don't do that, but the same thing happens with our breath. We breathe through our nose and then we think, no, I got more to breathe. So then we open our mouth and take more in. So see what it feels like to resist the urge to top off the breath, to bring more through the mouth, and just find what you're capable of doing through your nose. So stand here for a moment in Tadasana, ground, yield, feel your feet, soften your knees. Pay attention to your diaphragm. Pay attention to the way your neck and shoulders are feeling, the way all these muscles in your traps and around your neck that we tend to use for breathing. See if you can soften and relax them. Rely on your powerhouse, the workhorse of breath, the diaphragm. What is your exhale doing right now? Do you want to hum? Do you want to sigh? You can even try breathing out through very soft lips. Try different things and notice what gives some exercise to the diaphragm. Do you tend to breathe out through your mouth? Do you tend to breathe out through your nose? Where is your patterning? Visualize the swirling nitric oxide. Visualize the bronchodilation. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Open your chest up. And then exhale and fold forward. Relax all your breath out. Inhale through your nose, halfway lift. Exhale and let that go. Step back. Left foot is back, right foot is forward, come to a lunge. So next time you go out for a walk in the park or wherever you're going for a walk, see if you can use the experiment. And let's start moving here, straightening and bending your front knee a little bit. Experiment with trying to make a commitment through your walk to breathe through your nose as much as possible. And if you're really feeling adventurous, you can try, being a little bit more extreme and taping your mouth. You don't have to do that. You definitely do not have to be that extreme to remind yourself. You can just try to remind yourself to keep your lips closed, to smile. You know, I've done this before. Go ahead and bring your back foot forward now, fold in half, and we're gonna switch legs, left foot forward, right foot back. I've done this before where I have had a moving meditation, walking in the park, where I have just a slight smile on my lips, mouth closed smile, not a big broad smile where your teeth are showing, just a gentle smile through closed lips and focusing on the breath. So there's so many ways you can experiment with trying to train your body to breathe through your nose if you're a habituated mouth breather. Okay, let's go ahead and walk your foot back, find Uttanasana one more time. Inhale for a halfway lift. Let's touch our knees, our toes together, unless your knee needs a little support, in which case take a block between your thighs and come into chair pose here. So you can go as far down or as not far down as your body wants to go, whatever's stable for your legs, building some strength and blood flow in our quads. Inhale your arms up or out or down or palms together, wherever you want to be. Find your breath. Relax the shoulders down. Full breath in through your nose. Exhale all the way. Maybe your hum has a different tone throughout the breath. Starts high, goes low, starts low, goes high. What's happening for you? Inhale, reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Straighten your legs. Okay, take that block out of there if you had it. Interlace your hands behind your back. Open across your collarbones. Hug your shoulder blades toward each other and draw your hands down. Feel the backs of your traps stretch just a little bit and then tuck your chin toward your chest. Inhale, lift your chin toward the sky, touch your teeth. Okay, and then we're gonna fold. Bend your knees, arms come away from the spine wherever they go. Relax your head. And then release the hands down to the ground. Step back to a lunge, right foot forward, left foot back. Climb up and come into crescent lunge. So once again, your lunge can be very light. If you're working with joints that are troublesome to you today, you can come deeply in your lunge. Arms can go anywhere arms want to go. I'm nursing a shoulder thing, so I'm going to keep my hands down, but for sure you can have your arms up wherever you want them to be. Open the chest regardless of how deep you are and regardless of what your arms are doing. Can you stay in the presence of your breath? Are you breathing through your nose? Relax your traps. What might it feel like to breathe out through your nose and hum? All right, release the hands down to the ground. Back foot comes forward, front foot comes back. Come to a lunge on this side. Left foot is forward, climb up. Feel the extension of your back hip flexors. Bend into your knee, your front knee as much as you want or can. Feel your heel move into the earth. Engage your glutes on that front leg. Feel the openness across your chest, across your heart. Put your arms anywhere that feels really good for you. Relax your traps. So the neck and shoulders always want to do so much work and they just don't have to. So let's teach them to let go. The diaphragm is the workhorse for the breath. When you slow down your exhale, it strengthens your diaphragm. When you breathe through your nose, it strengthens your diaphragm. Let's find what we can find. Rest and relax. If you need to take breaks from your nasal breathing, if you feel panicky, take a big giant breath through your mouth. Go back to a habituated pattern for a moment so that you're at ease, and then try again. And then release the hands down to the ground, step back to a plank. You can always put your knees down onto the floor if your shoulders need some support, or your elbows or any other part of your body. Okay, so finding the breath. As we start to work hard through the core of our body, what's happening now through the exhales and the inhales? Can you still imagine that swirling of nitric oxide? And then let's put our knees down onto the ground and let's find our way all the way to the floor. Breathe all your air out. Inhale. Shoulders are away from the ears. Exhale, come back down. Try not to hold the breath. A couple more times. Ride the wave of the breath. So on the inhale, rise up. And on the exhale, come down. Stabilize through your lower body. Engage your legs, your core, your glutes. All right, and let's come back. Come up onto all fours. If you have one knee that's troublesome and it's hard to put your knees onto the ground, you can always straighten that leg and curl the toes under. There's always ways for you to modify your practice to support you. Swirl around, do any kind of movement that's right for you. Go ahead and come back to dog pose when you're ready. Use this inversion. Dog pose is such a great pose for feeling your diaphragm on the exhales. So just notice gravity's helping you exhale now. It's helping the diaphragm move back into the thoracic, cavity or against the thoracic cavity. See what that feels like to have a full long exhale, to enjoy all the space. When your arms are over your head, you have so much room to breathe in. All right, walk your feet forward. Come into Uttanasana, fold. And then go ahead and climb up. Turn sideways on your mat. Bring your legs wide apart. Turn your right foot out and your left foot in. And as always, remember, this is gentle yoga. So if you go right here, whether you're not going very deep in your posture, that's so good. So just be wherever you can be. So if you can go deeper in your lunge, then you can go deeper. So anywhere along that pathway, and we're gonna move here just a little bit. Once again, I'm not moving my shoulders very much, but you move them wherever you want. So we're gonna exhale to come out and inhale to come back in. You can do what I'm doing with my hands pushing out, or you can do your arms up overhead and out on the exhale. Find your breath rhythm. Don't follow mine, follow yours. Breathing in, smile on the lips. Nice closed lips, breathe through your nose. Visualize your sinuses. Take time for the breath to swirl in your sinuses and in your lungs. Next time you get out there, let's stay. Find your breath, put your arms wherever you want. I'm gonna have this one down, but if you wanna have both your arms out or hands to your heart, whatever feels nice. Are you breathing through your nose? Can you yield? Are you rooting into the earth? Is your diaphragm moving? Is your belly moving with your breath? Let's come back up. Turn your feet right to the other side. We're going to do the same thing, the movement on the breath. See what it feels like to make sure that your diaphragm is doing the primary moving. If you're used to up high chest breathing and using all these accessory muscles around your neck to breathe for you, relax. See what you can do to let them go. Let's start to move. Exhaling to stretch your arms out. Inhaling, either arms are up or just at your chest. Exhaling again, coming into the pose. So you go into the lunge as much as your body wants to go. Remember, you're protecting your joints. You're going only to the depth of what your body can handle. This next one, now we're going to stay. So find Virabhadrasana 2, wherever your body is comfortable being. Relax the shoulders down. Find the diaphragm instead of the upper traps. See what it feels like to close your lips. Maybe a hum on your exhale. Now, is your tendency to hum high or hum low? There's no right or wrong. Just follow a pace that's working for you. All right, let's come back to center. We're going to go to the other side. Parsvakonasana. This time our elbow is going to rest on our knee. Feel how open your chest is in this posture. It's pretty easy to collapse your chest down. Let's see if we can do just the opposite. Open your chest up. Feel the heel reach into the earth and the crown of your head extend.
Maybe your arm comes overhead. Maybe your hand stays on your hip. Let's do the same. Can you yield into the earth? Can you rebound? How is your breath? Are your lips closed? Soft tongue, soft jaw, soft eyes? Can you slow down the exhale? Use your diaphragm muscle. Imagine all the open chambers of your sinuses. Okay, and then let's go ahead and come on up and turn our feet the other way. Find Parsvakonasana on this side. Elbow on your knee. The chest opens and expands. Root into the feet. Shoulders are away from the ears. Decide where you want your arm to be. Before you start paying attention to all the little minutiae in your body, yield and give yourself the awareness to your breath. If you find the yielding in the breath, everything else will come. These are really deeply important aspects of our yoga postures, is yielding where we're touching to the earth, feeling the breath travel through our bodies. If we can find this, this is the working in instead of the working out. Maybe your eyes won't close, maybe they're open. Feel the diaphragm, feel the softness around your neck. Enjoy the open sinuses. Let's go ahead and come on up. Turn your feet to the long edge, and we're just going to come down. So have a little inversion. You can bring your hands down onto the floor. Maybe your hands come onto blocks. You can drop your head a little bit lower. So wherever you're comfortable. Deep breath in. Deep, long exhale. What would humming feel like here? Is it different when your diaphragm is above your lungs instead of your diaphragm being below your lungs? We're upside down, or at least parallel if you're, straight, horizontal. So just notice the difference. Okay, let's turn and walk our hands to the front side of our mat. Walk your feet to the back side of your mat and come to dog pose. Here we are still in an inversion. So relax the brain, relax the eyes. See if you can still be gently touching your teeth. Let your tongue pool inside your mouth. The breath is swirling through your sinuses, moving into your lungs. Use your diaphragm. Try to hum on your exhale. See what it might feel like. It can be a sigh kind of sound, a hum kind of sound, a sing-songy kind of sound, a very steady sound. Come forward into a plank. Hold yourself steady, finding the breath. Notice the work now on the exhales, that the core muscles and the diaphragm have some contraction on your exhales. Are you still able to breathe through the nose on the inhales? All right, let's put our knees down onto the ground. Come to lie down on the floor. Finding the breath. Take your forearms out in front of you for a sphinx. And you can come onto fingertips too if you want to be a little bit higher. Decide where you're going to be. Open up the chest, open up the breath. And let's relax and melt back down. Come up onto all fours. Find some swirls, any kind of movement that feels really nice in your body. We're going to come on to our back when you're ready. We're going to find some moving bridges. Heels close in to your buttocks. First, just rest on the floor. Return back to the ability to breathe through your nose. Notice the change now that you're horizontal on the ground. Is it harder? Is it easier? Try a hum. All right, and then next time you are ready for an in-breath, we're going to lift the pelvis. The arms come lifting overhead.
And then we're going to exhale and lower the hips back down, arms down at your sides. Okay. Finding the movement of breath. Inhale, pelvis up, arms overhead. Exhale, pelvis down, arms down at your sides. Okay, a couple more times. Move with breath. So your pace, breathing through your nose. How does it feel? All right, now we're going to stay in a full bridge the next time you get there. So press through your heels, rock onto the tops of the shoulders. Don't worry about interlacing your hands underneath you. Keep your arms down at the sides. You can even cactus up your arms like this, where your robot arms, where your elbows are pushing down and your palms are up, or full arms down. But try not to overdo by interlacing underneath your back with your hands. Feel your feet, root in, feel your glutes, your thighs, work all your muscles to stabilize you. Try not to push your neck into the ground. Have a little gap underneath your neck. Feel your breath here, breathing in through your nose. Try humming here. This is a really good posture to feel a little vibration in your Jalandhara Bandha, the throat bind around your vocal cords. How's your diaphragm? Can you feel the full inhales and the full exhales? All right, and then let's come down and rest on your back for a moment. I feel the rest of your spine fall into the earth. Relax your shoulders. Let's windshield wiper our knees left and right. We're going to take a little bit deeper of a spinal twist than we sometimes do. So right knee coming into the chest. Give it a good squeeze. The left leg is long on the floor. Full inhale. Full exhale. Let's open our right knee out to the right first. So just hold on with your right hand and release that knee toward the floor. And then we're going to pick up the knee and transfer it to our left hand and cross the leg over the body. So think, go where you're going to go. So obviously this is a nice stretch for your hip and it turns into a spinal twist. I don't want you to go too far, so don't have the expectation of bringing your knee to the floor. Instead, just enjoy the way you're breathing in a twist, in a nice open twist. Can you feel your diaphragm work a little bit? Can you feel all the intercostal muscles open? How's your neck? Is it relaxed? Are you comfortable breathing through your nose? And then come back up, bring the knee to the chest one more time and release that leg onto the floor. Change sides, left knee coming into the chest. Give it a good squeeze. Right leg is on the ground now. We're going to open up the leg to the left first. So just feel that sense of drawing the knee out to the left. Feel the roots of your right hip come down. Now we're going to transfer. So bring the left knee over to the right, grab on with your right hand and start to lift the left hip off the floor as you twist to the side. Turn your head to the left, left arm stretching out. Take a deep breath. Only go over to the side as much as your body is comfortable with. This is a pretty deep, or can be a pretty deep twist. So make sure you're protecting yourself and not going beyond what your body's comfortable with. Focus on your diaphragm and on your lungs. How are you opening things up? Are you breathing well? Let's go ahead and bring that knee back up. Bring two knees to the chest and rock a little bit. Twisting can sometimes take a number on your spine, so let's just ease your back. Finding the breath. And then relax. Roll over onto your side. And we're going to grab 2 blocks. Okay. So we're going to do heart bench. This is a great pose to help you breathe well. So this lower block is going to either be this way between your shoulder blades or this way between your shoulder blades. You get to decide which way you're going to be. And the block's going to be on the low height. And then the block under your head is going to be on the middle height. Okay, so as we come into this posture, you know, if you're super tiny, if you're not very tall, having the block long sometimes can be too long, and you need to turn the block horizontal to feel comfortable in your spine. So try both and see which is better for your body. And then put your limbs where you want them to be. You can stretch them out, whatever feels good. Heart bench is such a beautiful posture. If your shoulders are not happy or your back, there's so many ways you can support. You can put blankets underneath your forearms if you need to have your arms not so low. You can take bent knees. You can take Supta Baddha Konasana legs, so the soles of the feet together, the knees splay out. So, you know, experiment with what position is best for your body, both with where you want to put the blocks and where you want to put your limbs. Once you get to a place of comfort, melt here. Melt the base of the skull. The ways in which we hold tension in our neck and shoulders sometimes is so unconscious. The way we try to use those muscles to breathe can be so unconscious. So let's bring consciousness. And let's come back to visualizing as we relax the open cavernous space of our sinuses. Imagine your sinuses were big caves. If you've ever been inside of a cave, walked into a cave with the stalagmites and stalactites, I think they're called. Imagine the sinuses as these big cavernous places for the breath to swirl. Enjoy this beautiful molecular gas that our body produces, nitric oxide. Bathe your breath in this gas. Relax your throat, the vocal cords. See what it feels like to open your lung fields and receive your breath. Knowing that nitric oxide isn't just a dilator for your bronchioles, but it's also protective for any viruses or bacteria or anything that you're breathing in. Imagine that your body has this deeply intuitive immune capability that's just embedded in the simple act of breathing through your nose. We're so perfectly made. Also feel as you rest your shoulders, the depth of your diaphragm. Feel it move as you inhale. Feel it move as you exhale. Maybe you want to try humming through your exhale here. Try different tones. What's comfortable. As with anything, don't push too far. So you don't want to push the exhale so far either. Just like we're not topping off the top of our inhale, let's try not to, stretch later longer than necessary with our exhale. So stretch the exhale to the place where you feel like you need to take a breath. And then find your next inhale. Rest your body. Close your mouth. Relax your skull. When we ready, we're gonna come out of there. You can roll over onto your side, get the blocks out from underneath you, and come back onto your back and bring your knees to your chest and rock a little bit. Okay, swaying from side to side. Okay, let's grab onto our feet. Have a little stretch in the low back. Feel free to pick the head up too if you need to round the upper spine a little bit after heart bench. Put your feet down on the ground again and windshield wiper your knees. Turn your head in opposition. Just release the back bend of heart bench. Staying with the breath. And let's come into a reverse pigeon pose. Put your right foot on your left knee and grab on behind your left thigh with your interlaced fingers and find a hip stretch. Let your shoulders relax, your head relax. Still breathing through the nose as much as you can. Every time you think of it throughout the day, if you catch yourself breathing through your mouth, just notice. See what you can do. Build in little reminders. When you put your keys into the ignition of your car, am I breathing through my nose? When you open up your phone, am I breathing through my nose? Things you do multiple times a day. When you're washing your hands, am I breathing through my nose? Let's go ahead and put your right foot down onto the ground. Left foot comes on right knee now, interlaced behind your right thigh. And remember, this pose can be mobile. You do not have to be static. You can be rocking, you can be circling, you can be still. How's your breath? All right, and then let's relax and bring your knees to your chest one more time. Pick up your head and then find your way into Shavasana. So as you lie down on your back, support yourself in whatever way you need supporting. For Shavasana, you can close your eyes once you get comfortable. If you need some support underneath your knees, some blankets or a bolster or anything that you want, go ahead and take what you need. As you lie down, your limbs, what do they feel like? Can you rest? Can you relax? Is there a way for you to find a sense of deep ease, letting the body yield, the whole body yield? Rest the cheeks, the tongue, the jaw. Melt the base of your skull. Even here, are you able to soften your tongue inside your mouth, part your teeth, but have your lips just still gently touching? Breathing through your nose as much as possible. Maybe a sigh, maybe a hum, maybe just an exhale.
Slowly begin to deepen your breathing again. Through the nose as much as you can. And swiggle your toes, stretch, move however is best for your body. Let's find maybe a big stretch with your arms stretching over your head. Knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug. And then go ahead and find your way onto your side. And use your arms to help lift yourself upright. As you come to sit, place your palms at your heart. Let's just take a moment to enjoy your breath one more time. Do you have a sense of calmness, ease, good breathing? What does it do for you? Can you feel its impacts? Let's offer this peace outward. Share your practice with another. Namaste.